If you want to know the best of the best spots to level up fast after the recent update, you are in the right place. I've spent dozens of hours and countless runs optimizing these insane 5 endgame farming methods so I can give you the fastest and most efficient spots that will not waste your precious time. Even after the recent update, following these methods will let you earn a crazy amount of 4 million to a much better 5.6 million of XP per hour for your leveling needs. I'm still using the same feathering longsword build just like in my previous endgame farming videos and still using the Serpent Fang as the main weapon. The sub-weapon Zanlu sword is not required here, but for you to have the maximum XP gains per hour possible, the ceramic jar is a must-have. What it does is it increases your Red Mercury gains by 15% when madness is at full, and 15% is a lot. Aside from the ceramic jar, you can wear any armor sets that you like and make sure your tempering is all set up to increase your overall damage. I'm still using the Tigerless pendant, Killing pendant, and the Cold Dragon pendant. Of course, if you are using a different build, you can take advantage of the other amulets that I'm showing on the screen right now. And as always, check the description if you want to know the location of all of the items that I use in this build for your convenience. I still standardize my character level at 110 when optimizing all of the spots on this list. And as always, maximum madness is always suggested for more XP gains. Since I'm showing you a level 110 character, if you want to follow level 75 strategies or methods starting from chapter 4 all the way to chapter 5, I suggest watching my first ever endgame farming methods, link in the description or by clicking the card here. I'm quickly running through my skill tree just in case you are following the same build as mine, and pay extra attention to the feathering nose that I upgraded multiple times. Running through my longsword tree, and you can see that it is upgraded all the way through the end. And after that, I upgraded the spear tree a little bit to get more agility, and then the second main tree upgrades revolve around the one-handed swords. This is necessary to get more feathering nodes while also giving you the chance to get more discipline skills. If you followed exactly how my skill tree upgrades were laid out, you will have 12 discipline skills and take advantage of the 4 stones added damage multiplier. The Ruined Reverend Temple spot is no longer the best spot overall of Chapter 4 after the recent update. However, it still provides a great amount of XP per hour compared to the other endgame spots. This spot will allow you to farm all types of enemies in the past, but now you can only take out feathered type enemies because of the horrible recent changes in Chapter 4. We'll be starting the actual method from the Reverend Temple Shrine, which is unmissable by just proceeding in the story. Start the actual method by following the stone staircase, then temper your weapon and start taking out the smaller feathered type enemies in here with light attacks. So take out the first brawling set of enemies with 2 light attacks, and then pull off light attacks to take out the feathered enemy in the next group. Head to the next group from your location and start taking out the crow soldier first by using your weapon skill. Then take out the 2 feathered enemies with light attacks. Finish the run by taking out the last crow enemy with light attacks before heading back to the shrine to reset the run. Rinse and repeat. This method usually takes around 57 seconds with reset loading times included and gives you a whopping 18k worth of raw Red Mercury per run while giving you 1,500 worth of item drop average gains per run, giving you a total of 21k worth of Red Mercury per attempt. Do this consistently for an hour and we are looking at more than 1.3 million Red Mercury gains per hour. And as mentioned, this spot can still provide decent gains but lower compared to its former gains before the recent patch. If you're getting value so far, subscribe to the channel. Liking the video and engaging in the comments helps me a lot. Join our Discord server and help us build our gaming community, and I appreciate your support. The Underground Palace entrance spot is by far the best spot in Chapter 4, beating the Ruined Reverend Temple spot because of the changes made in the 1.5 update. This spot will allow you to farm helpless bow and feather type enemies since they are all in kneeling position while worshipping the boss in this area. These are almost elite type enemies that drop a lot of Red Mercury, which you can easily burst down with the right setup. They are cleverly placed on an ideal farming route near 2 shrines. The Palace entrance shrine is going to be our main starting point for this method. However, unlocking it is a little bit tricky, and I highly suggest watching my previous endgame farming guide that I link in the description or by clicking the card here. The link video will show you how to access the palace entrance shrine since I'm not going over it to save time. Assuming that you've already unlocked the key shrines for this method, head to the intersection of the palace and take out the feather type enemies near your location. By now, you have seen me access the lower scaffolding and kill another set of weak enemies while I am on my way. Wait until you see the first huge bow enemy and start killing the feather type enemy near the bow enemy first. Then temper your weapon and unload light attacks for you to gain more charges and save them for later use. Access the lower scaffolding and don't hit nearby enemies for now, and instead access the ladder on the far end of the enemy line in here. After the ladder, take out 3 weak enemies while you are traversing the straightforward path in here. Then unload 2 sets of weapon skills and light attacks to take out the avian hunter in here, and perform light attacks to damage the huge bow enemy and finish it with weapon skills. Backtrack to the ladder that you took to get here, and it is time to take out the enemies that we just skipped. What you can do here is unload your gain charges on the avian hunter or do light attacks to gain more charges to take it out. Head to the upper scaffolding and start from the small one first to gain more charges. Then unload your skyborn mine charges on the purple enemy. Near the ladder, there are 3 weak enemies that you can take out as well. And after that, head through the wall opening and access the lower part of the area. You will be dropping from a significant height from here. The last 2 enemies are here waiting for you after the drop, so take them out accordingly. Then access the bow shrine and invoke items so you can maintain the 90% madness threshold before resetting the run. Teleport back to the palace entrance to start the run again, rinse and repeat. Each run lasts around 2 minutes and 26 seconds with reset loading times included, and gives you 54k raw red mercury per run and 3,600 average gains from mercury item drops. Doing this method for an hour and we are looking at a more than 1.3 million red mercury gains per hour. The blood of Changhong gives you 8k XP per use, and they do drop a lot in this method. On the other hand, my calculation was set to the lowest average gains possible, so you will be scoring way more than 1.3 million from this spot easily. Things will go spicier from here as we are heading over the best of the best spots in the game. I have decided to include the Depths Capital spots again because of the changes lately, and they are all untouched even after the recent patch. The Depths Capital spot will allow you to hunt fighting bow enemies that are already distracted and can drop huge amount of red mercury. Access this spot by activating the Depths Capital Shrine, which you can't miss by just progressing in the area. Starting from the Depths of Capital Shrine, head outside to the narrow pathway and head to your right. You will see our main targets, and what I usually do is temper my weapon first. Then approach the flesh-like looking bow enemy and pull off 2 to 3 light attacks. Then unload a weapon skill on the purple bow enemy, which will go down easily since it is already damaged. There are 3 enemies in this group, but a small one often dies first in the brawl. Once all of the enemies in the first group are dead, head back to the shrine to reset the run, rinse and repeat. Each run takes around 45 to 47 seconds with reset loading times included. It gives you 19k raw red mercury per run and 900 average gain from mercury item drops. Do this consistently for an hour and we are looking at an easy 1.6 to 1.7 million plus worth of red mercury gains per hour. The drop rate of Blood of Changhong in this area is much better, which is 8k per drop. So 1.7 million is the lowest average gain so far. And you can be scoring way more than these results. Just in case you are wondering, there's an avian hunter near your location that you can take out as well, but I don't recommend including it in the routine. Your average gains per hour will suffer because of the added travel time. Taking the top 2 spot is the respawnable giant reddish crow monster located in the same shrine we activated. If you hate farming regular type enemies, this method is for you. The key enemy in this method is pretty slow and drops 28k of raw red mercury per run and gives me the chance to score Blood of Wang Dis, which gives me 10k XP per drop. We are going to start on the same shrine, so heading back to the narrow pathway and then taking a sharp turn to the left. And notice the enemy right away. Approach the nearby pillar and the enemy will start to come down and be ready for battle. Temper your weapon for more damage and dodge the first attack that it will do. I highly suggest sticking to 2 light attacks and dodge strategy. Again, 2 light attacks and wait for the enemy to attack, then dodge it accordingly. If you are confident, then you can increase your light attacks per damage windows. Once you've gained 4 charges of Skyborn Might, pull 2 consecutive weapon skills to destroy the target with a big damage number. Then continue repeating the fight strategy over and over until it's dead. Once it's dead, head back to the shrine to reset the run, rinse and repeat. It may look like it is impossible to farm these enemies, however, it is pretty slow as you can see during my runs. With the right setup, bursting the avian monster is not that challenging. Each run lasts around 1 minute and 4 seconds with reset loading times included and gives you 28k of raw Red Mercury per run and an average of 2k gains of Mercury item drop. Do this method consistently for an hour and we are looking at a more than 1.7 million Red Mercury per hour. Keep in mind that this calculation involves you getting 1 drop of Wang D per 5 attempts, and that rarely happens to me since this bot has a better drop rate overall. So you will be scoring way more than 1.7 million if you stick to this run. Even after the recent patch, nothing else comes close in terms of Red Mercury gains per hour when doing the Forbidden Land spot, giving you a mind-blowing 4 million to an out-of-this-world 5.6 million of Red Mercury gains per hour. This method will allow you to hunt giant fiends in a kneeling position, and it takes forever for them to be in a fighting position, giving you the chance to take these enemies down easily. Each of these fiends drops a whopping 28k of Red Mercury and has a chance to drop Blood of Wang Ds. Access this method by activating the Forbidden Land Shrine, which is the second last shrine in the game and located just before the final battle's location. This method is pretty straightforward, which is a huge plus. Where you start from the actual shrine, approach the first giant fiend near your location, and temper your weapon so we can nuke this enemy out. I usually pull off 7 light attacks, then dodge the fiend's attack to gain more Skyborn Might charges. Then finish it off with 2 weapon skills and light attacks. After the first fiend is dead, there are a total of 4 giant fiends in here, so start on the one adjacent to the one you just took out and do the same process. Do the same thing on the other one, and finally the same tactic will work on the 4th one, which is the last giant fiend in this area. After the 4th enemy hits the ground, use your feather pearls to quickly reset your run and refresh your madness as well. Rinse and repeat. And yes, this is the time you should be using all of your feather pearls to make the most use out of them. Taking 4 giant fiends usually takes around 1 minute and 15 seconds. It gives you a crazy amount of 112k of Red Mercury per run, while giving you 5k more average gains from item drops, giving you a total of a mind-blowing 117k XP per run. Do this consistently for an hour and we are looking at an out-of-this-world 5.6 million Red Mercury gains per hour. Note that this calculation only involves you getting 1 Blood of Wang D per 2 runs. There were a lot of cases where I was scoring multiple Blood of Wang Ds in a single run, so you are scoring way more than 5.6 million of Red Mercury per hour if you do this method correctly. But what if you don't have a lot of feather pearls in stock? You are still expecting a mind-blowing 4 million plus worth of XP per hour even without feather pearls. All of these spots will remain relevant for a long time, so farm to your heart's content and reach level 290 easily. But what if you just started the game and want to know the best leveling progression guide from start to finish? This video will give you everything you need to know, and I will catch you on the next one.